Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I will be showing you one of 3 projects that we made at the January 2022 Stamp Club. We typically do 3 projects and this month was no different. The project that I'm going to show you today, project number 1, is this adorable mini paper pumpkin box. So I'm going to show you how to put the box together and decorate it and also put it together with this cute tag. I want to let you know that the products that I'm using today are out of the current mini catalog, the January to June 2022 mini catalog. And I am mainly using this suite of products, which includes a stamp set and some dies, some really beautiful embellishments, some ribbon, and so forth. So I'll come back to this in just a moment. Let me just show you the stamp set. This is the stamp set I'll be using on our box today. It's called Sweet Conversations. And it does have coordinating dies, so we'll be using some of the dies as well. I will be using the Love You stamp. And this shape heart, there are several different hearts in this stamp set. And also this little set of 4 lines. We're going to be making a cute little background design with those 4 lines. And then I will need this heart die that's going to cut this heart shape out once it's finished being stamped. And I'm also borrowing another die. This is from Tasteful Labels. I'm going to be using this die as well on our tag. I just remembered that that one was not from here, so I wanted to make mention that's from Tasteful Labels. Obviously, you could hand cut a shape, or perhaps even out of this set of dies, this little tag might work as well. All right, let me mention before I jump into ink and stamping just a couple of things. The current host code is shown here, EAK3FFPB. If between now and the end of January 2022, you would like to place an order through my online store, I would love to be able to help service you that way. And when you get to the checkout screen, it will ask for a host code, and this is the code that you'll enter there in that box. Again, this code is good through the end of the month. Here are the product numbers of the main things that I'll be showing you today. The Sweet Conversations bundle, that's the stamp set and the coordinating dies. Here's the number. Also, the Sweet Talk 12 by 12 designer series paper has a number of adorable prints in there, not necessarily just for Valentine's, but also for sweetheart and love and other just fancy patterns. And then I will be using this real red faux linen ribbon, which is super soft and easy to tie, and here's the number for that. I do want to mention that a Stampin' Bingo night is coming up on Tuesday, January 25th. You can play all across the country because this is a Facebook Live event. We will be playing on my business page. I am Julie Baum, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. That's where you'll find me on Facebook. And we start at 6:30, and that is Pacific time. So if you would like to join into that, you can watch, of course, if you want to do that. If you would like to register, which means you're going to be playing along, you can watch the card tutorials, but if you want to play the bingo game, I need you to register so that I can get your bingo numbers from you. So I'll put this back up at the very end of today's tutorial in case you didn't catch it or have time to make note of any of that. All right, so we are using a mini paper pumpkin box, and that looks like this. Now, these boxes are found in the annual catalog, so not in the current mini catalog that I showed you before. These are in the annual catalog. They come in a package of 10. So they come packed nicely like this with a thick piece of cardboard, so they're nice and flat and sturdy when you get them. All right, so you get 10 of them. The current price on these is $7 for 10 boxes. What a good deal. You don't need any adhesive to put these together. You're simply going to fold on all of the pre-scored lines, and we're just going to put this together in a snap. I will mention that the inside of this box is the glossy side, It does have a kind of a protective food safe film in case you're going to put baked goods or any kind of treats in here. So you'll probably want to make your box with the matte on the outside and the shiny part on the inside. Once you've pre-folded all of these score lines, oh, I got two more, you can fold the bottom of the box up like so. I'm going to put these flaps in, and I'm going to put these flaps in and wrap this side of the bottom of the box up over the flaps, and then this will tuck in. There are little notches here, and the box is designed to just tuck right into the notches. That's why you don't need any adhesive. We'll do the same thing on the other side with the flaps tucked in. I'm going to bring the side edge of this box up and over and tuck those notches in. Now the bottom of the box has been constructed. And then for the top, just re-going over my folds here, I can tuck these long tabs in, and then these cute little short tabs fit right into the edge of the box. Super easy to do, darling heavy duty box. I've got some little tabs here I'm just going to remove, and we'll get rid of those. So what I'm going to do is cover my box with a piece of the designer series paper that I mentioned. This is called Sweet Talk. The patterns in this paper packet are adorable. I just love them. I'm having a lot of fun using them. On the back side is this nice stripe, which would also make for a super cute box front. I'm going to go ahead and use the heart side. So these papers start out as a 12 by 12 sheet, and I have cut this down so that it's almost 6 by 6, but it's actually a little bit smaller. So let me just double check. All right, the width here is 5.5. The length here is 6 inches, but just trimmed down a smidge, so it's actually 5 7/8. Be careful if you have a pattern that has a direction, because you will want to make sure that with your direction facing the way you want it to go, that your 5.5 is the width and your 5 7/8 is your length. So I'm going to use some tear and tape on this, and I will put 3 strips of adhesive on here. One at what is going to be the front edge, one at roughly the middle of the box, or the center, and one at the back, which is going to be the last part that I stick. All right, so you'll notice that I'm not making any score lines in this that would coordinate with where this is going to fold around the box. I find that this type of project actually just works best if you crease it along your edges as you go, instead of having hard score lines. So that's why we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put a little gentle rounding on my paper right now, just to kind of get it going in the right direction. All right, so I'm going to remove the backing of my adhesive. Let's see, I'm reaching for my take your pick tool. Here we go. And what I'm going to do is release just the first 2 pieces, just so I don't accidentally have something stick and grab before I'm ready for it to. Whew. So this back piece at the end, I have not removed the backing yet. So starting at the front edge of the box, this is where the flap is that causes the box to close. I'm just going to line up the edges of my paper with the front edge of the box, and also eyeballing right and left. So I have about the same distance here and here. Then I'm going to crease that. And now as I go, I'm just going to kind of pull it and stretch so it's nice and tight on my box. Now that second area that I had already released the tape backing, that is sticking down nicely. I'm going to crease this, and you can see it wraps perfectly to the back edge of my box. So I like how that looks, and now I feel Like it's a good time to remove this. I'm not worried about it anymore. And I will go ahead and stick that edge. If you are a Stamp Club member and you had to miss, if you were absent this week, this is a good time to watch the projects and you can recreate them on your own at home. And if you're not part of my Stamp Club group, then I hope that you're getting some inspiration and learning how to do a fun project today. So there's my box that's all wrapped and decorated. Now we need to do the tag. I just have some scraps here. So I have a scrap of Highland Heather cardstock. I will take my little stripe stamp from the stamp set. And I'm going to create a pattern, just kind of it's not too fussy. It's just kind of a diagonal pattern across my Highland Heather cardstock. And then I'm going to just kind of try to line up some of those lines. This isn't going to matter too much if it's lined up perfectly or not. You'll see, because it's just a background. All right, I like that. So there's our diagonal lines. And then on this scrap, this is just a scrap of basic white cardstock. I'll stamp the outline of my heart. And this one, much like those conversation hearts, this one has words on it and it says, "Love you." And then I'll take my real red ink and this heart stamp, which will fit nicely right inside my outline. A word about photopolymer stamps also is that they can get stained, especially from your pinks and your red ink. Not as much on any of the other colors, but your pinks and your reds can stain your stamps as long as you are being mindful to clean your stamps after you use them. It's not causing any damage at all. So I've still cleaned the red ink off of this. You can see there's no ink left on it, but after a couple of times of using red or the bright pinks, it may stain your photopolymer stamps. No worries. All right, I am going to take both of these little pieces over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to cut them out with the dies. So I'm going to use this one and this one. And I will be just a moment, and then I will come back on camera, on the screen. I chose not to pull my embossing machine into the view today. I have all kinds of projects all around my desk this morning, and this was going to be much faster for me to go over to my machine instead of having to make space to bring my machine into the camera view. So I've got that in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm just running it through. And then I will show you the pieces. Okay, so that just took a moment. So I have this piece now cut out from that cute tag, and I love the little stitching that goes around it, which it's also noted that the stitching ends up on this piece. So this piece would be cute too, used on a project. You can use either piece, the main piece or the reverse piece. And then on this one, I've got my little heart cut out. All right, I will put a dab of glue on the back of the Love You heart and attach it to my purple tag. It's kind of hard to pick up. There we go. Then I'm going to take a hole punch. This is a very small hole punch. This is a 1/16 hole punch. It is not one that is currently offered through Stampin' Up. And which one did I grab? Actually, this one might be an 1/8, not the tiniest one that I have. I'll know after I punch it. Yeah, this is 1/8 of an inch. There, believe it or not, there's a tinier one than this. All right, so there is the hole in my tag. All right, I have my box. I'm gonna grab some of that ribbon. I told you this is the Real Red Faux ribbon. I have taken, oh, this is about between 22 and 24 inches of ribbon, which is what I will need to tie around this size of a box. And as I mentioned, it's super soft. It is very easy to tie. It doesn't resist you at all. So I'm going to get my bow here. We'll see if I can get it in one try. All right, here is my bow. Let me pull my loops out a little bit. All right, that is good enough for our tutorial. I would, if I was completely finished and ready to give this as a gift, I would take my scissors and trim down the tails, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. Now with my tag, I will attach it to my bow with just a little piece of linen thread. This is available in our annual catalog as well. You only need a couple inches of this. This is about 5 inches. So I will string my tag onto the linen thread. Now remember, use what you have. If you don't have linen thread, but you have some white baker's twine, that would work just fine as well. If you have nothing that's tiny and you're worried about attaching your tag, just use a little bit of adhesive on the back of this and just stick it to your box. You don't even have to add this. I like the extra little tails that adding twine or the linen thread creates in just the total look of the decoration. So that's why I kind of like to add it on here. But I like to tell you to use what you have. All right, so I've tied a little knot there with my linen thread, and now I'll do my trimming. So I'll trim these down a little bit, and I'll trim these down a little bit. I'm using a super sharp pair of scissors so that I get clean cuts on that. And there you have an adorable little treat box that you could put note cards in, you could put candy treats, you could put baked goods in. Super cute, very affordable to make for friends and family. Let me pull back in my little notes in case you missed it in the beginning. The host code now through the end of January is here. And the items that I mainly used are the Sweet Conversations bundle, which is the stamp set and the dies, the Sweet Talk 12 by 12 designer series paper, and that lovely red faux linen ribbon. If you enjoyed watching this tutorial, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Look for the next video with Project 2 from the January 2022 Stamp Club projects. Thank you. Bye.